All right, today I want to talk about like realistic eating outside of having an eating disorder and outside of recovery. A lot of eating, a lot of my eating is functional, is convenient, is fast, is sort of boring. And I don't say that to depress you, but honestly, that's life. Like, yes, I do get meals where I'm like, oh, that was so good, or ooh, that really hit the spot, that was so good. But for the most part, food is just food. It's just like a thing that I eat, and I enjoy those everyday mundane foods that, I have a rotation of like go-to dinners that I can make in 15-20 minutes. And yeah, sure, I sit down and can enjoy spaghetti, but it's freaking spaghetti. It's like not that exciting, right? And I think that's why it's so incredibly important that you take food off a pedestal in recovery. Because if I still was under that impression that every meal had to knock my socks off and be the most amazing, perfectly flavorful, and the temperature being just right, and the colors are all beautiful and colorful, and if I was still trying to seek after or chase that, I would still have an eating disorder. I would not be able to function in life without being hyper focused on food. And so when you're in recovery and you're finding that you're still doing those things, seeking after these perfect meals, having a craving and having to make it just right and perfect. If it's not, you're not going to eat it. Realizing that like a lot of the things you eat, you may not actually have cravings for. It may just be because that's something you still are afraid of and you need to eat it, right? So that in real life, there will be things like that you're like, that's not actually really my favorite, but this is what's available and I'm just going to eat it and I'm going to move on, right? Because I have life outside of just eating. You don't live every moment of every day for the food you're going to eat. And that is such a wonderful, that's probably one of the things I appreciate and love the most about recovery, is just having food fit in like a place in my life, but not my entire life. I'm sure you've seen on Instagram like those pie charts, and it's like with an eating disorder, like the whole thing is food and then like tiny little thing for like family and social and spiritual. And it's like when you recover, everything kind of balances itself out and like a sliver of that becomes food. It is not your focus anymore. But you have to be really diligent about taking food off of that pedestal. So when you order something and it doesn't come out just as you imagined, or it doesn't taste just like you wanted it to taste, I challenge you to just eat it anyways. And then when you're no longer afraid of fear of weight gain, or you've accepted the fact that you're actively running into that fear, guess what? It doesn't become as hyper emotional. It's just like, it's just a meal and you can just eat more when you get home, right? It's like, that didn't taste great, didn't hit the spot, but when I get home, I'll just have that thing that I know I love. I'm gonna, have a carton of ice cream, or I'm gonna make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. That sounds great. Like, it's not like, oh my gosh, I just met my quota and now I can't go over it and I just wasted my calories. Like, all of that kind of thinking is still, food is very high on a pedestal, and you have to actively work against the tendency to want to do that. And so look for ways, I've mentioned many in the past videos, but look for ways where you acknowledge or see that you are still holding food up on a pedestal, okay? Some other things would be like waiting for the perfect time to eat, going out to eat and really being careful, right? Or working up an appetite to be able to go and enjoy this one meal you're gonna have that evening with someone. That's still, you're so occupied with food and making it perfect and right. That's food on a pedestal. So I want you to be really honest, reflect on your own recovery right now, and ask yourself, first of all, how is food still on a pedestal for me, in what ways? And then how am I going to break those down? And then set goals to actually do those things and be proactive in your recovery and take charge and do it. And you'll see that the hyperfixation and obsession with food does in fact come down. Okay? That is my message today. Have a great weekend. Bye.